In this video, I want to show you exactly how you can use Claude Code to help you build this awesome SaaS application that contains the dashboard, landing page, Stripe payments, Supabase, backend, database, and everything without writing a single line of code. And this is something that I struggled with a bunch of these other AI models, and Claude, oh boy, it's amazing. And a huge thanks to Anthropic for supporting this video, and more specifically for giving me access to this beast right here, which is the max, and it gives me 5x or 20x more usage than Pro, higher output limits on all tasks, memory across conversations, early access to advanced Claude features, priority access to high traffic times. And to be honest, looking at this is absolutely worth it. For me, for example, I run a company and I need developers. So if I'm paying $100 a month for a developer or an agent that never sleeps and it can be so productive, this is a no-brainer for using the best of the best when it comes to AI and software engineering. So what we're going to build is this SaaS product in here, where we have a waiting list, so we can have people on the waiting list. Then we have access to the billing in here, so if you want to accept payments, you can upgrade in here. It has this beautiful dashboard, which, to be honest, for me, I hate like building user interfaces, but now it's never been easier than before. So also, if I sign out in here, you can see that we have this beautiful login page. And if I go back in here, so to root, and you can see that we have this awesome landing page that you can start using without customizing anything. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Salam alaikum. Alright, so there's a couple ways that we can use Claude Code. That is using the extension for VS Code, Cursor, IntelliJ, or we can use straight within the terminal. And in here, I do have the working directory called SaaS and then Claude. And the extension, you simply go to extensions. And by the way, I'm using VS Code. So just go to extensions and then you can install Claude Code. And then you should see this icon in here where you can just click on it. And then you have this chat window in here if you don't like to use the terminal. So if I open up a new terminal, so in here, new terminal. So what this allows us to do is, so if I deactivate, so let me just deactivate Conda in here for a second. And basically you can start to use Claude Code by just saying Claude. And if I press enter, there we go. You can see that I'm logged in and I can start to interact with Claude and perform all of the things that I really want to in terms of building whatever application that I want. Cool. So what I want to do in here is, let me just close the chat window for a second, and I'm going to spend most of the time here on the terminal, and you'll see that it's so easy to use. So in here, let me actually press Control C. So Control C 2 times in here. And what I want to do is I want to say Claude -- and then help for a second, because I want to show you that there's this specific command, dangerously skip permissions. All right, so I'm going to take this in here and let's just basically type Claude and then -- dangerously skip permissions. I'm going to press enter. There we go. And then you can see that it says, right, so this is dangerous mode, should be only used within a sandbox container environment. To be honest, I've been using it and it's not really as dangerous as it seems. So let's just say yes, and we are going to accept. Cool. Now within this terminal in here, so let me actually paste the prompt that I have for us to go and build a SaaS product for capturing emails, as well as how to collect payments for lifetime, including a dashboard where we can export all the emails to CSV. All right, so in here, I'm just going to paste what I have in here. It says waitlist SaaS for founders to capture emails and build waitlists for their products. Admin dashboard, export CSV, and also allow lifetime payments. And you can see that by no means I've actually structured everything, and basically I can go on and start building this right away. Or if I want, if I press Command and then Tab in here, we can actually toggle the plan mode in here. So this will allow us to plan the entire project before we even go and start building it. So I'm going to keep this for now. Let's just press enter, and hopefully in a second it should start to ask us a couple of questions before it even implements the plan. So this is one of the things which I really love about Claude Code, is that before it actually goes out there and start building everything, it actually wants to find out a little bit more information. So here it says that, right, so you want to build this with Next.js, Supabase, Prisma, ProSquares, or Convex, which I've never heard. So I'm actually quite familiar with Next.js, and basically here I'm just using the arrows. So I'm going to use Next.js and Supabase in here, which is great for rapid development, as you can see in here. Press N is the recommended. Also for payments, you can see that it's actually asking me whether I want to use Stripe, Lemon Squeezy, or Paddle. So for this, I'm going to use Stripe, which is what I use most of the times, and then have a look. So for the UI, it's asking me if I want to use Shadcn, Tailwind, Tracker, or Material UI. So for me, I always use Shadcn plus Tailwind CSS. And in here, have a look, referral system. So let members refer friends on a queue, and custom branding, email notifications, analytics, dashboard. So in here, I'm going to press the space bar. So I want to basically implement all of this. Why not? And if you want to include more things in here, then we can allow lifetime payments, just to make sure that it hasn't forgot anything. So press enter to submit. So I've just went down and then submit, and then here I'm going to submit all the answers. Now what this will do is it will create a plan for us before start implementing anything. Then what you could do is you could start to look at the plan, see whether it makes sense, and then edit the plan, and then define the plan exactly the way you want before any implementation whatsoever. All right, now it's asking me whether I want to bypass permissions. So here I want to say yes. All right, now what it's actually doing is building the entire project. So here, have a look. Excellent. Let me start building your SaaS. So what I want to do in here is I want to open up the project, and you can see that we already have some files. Have a look, which is quite nice. So all of this now is given to us, and we didn't write any single line of code. So basically from now on, I'm just going to let it do its thing. And then we'll basically see whether we have to accept anything. Obviously we don't, because we are bypassing permissions, and hopefully we should have something very soon up and running. All right, so now at this point is actually building the dashboard in here, and it's done a lot of things in terms of the Supabase in here, the initial schema, which you can see the actual code. So let me actually show you in here. You know, it's creating the profiles in here of the users, has paid, the Stripe customer ID, the waiting list limit, and then in here we have the created at as well. And obviously here, I didn't spend a lot of time in terms of getting the plan and getting this to the way that I actually want, because obviously I'm just rushing and trying to teach you how to build this as quick as possible. But as you'll see, so the output of this will be amazing. And then I'll talk to you about something which is very, very crucial, which I used to hate a lot with Cursor, to be honest. Cool. So I can see that it's almost there. It's just running npm run build. We actually have some red lines in here. Yeah, it says that we detected multiple log files. So to be honest, it's just going to fix itself. So let's just wait. And for some reason, I'm getting these weird characters. I don't know why. I think maybe it's the terminal within Visual Studio Code. All right, cool. So it's done. Now, what I want to do is I want to ask, so help me run this locally with Supabase. So it's telling me to create a project in Supabase in here, but I want to test things locally. Now, this goes beyond the scope of this video, but I do have Supabase locally configured with Docker, and this is exactly how you should be doing things locally. So testing everything locally before you deploy to production or to any environment. So this is exactly what I've asked him to do. So it's just checking whether I do have Supabase installed. So you can see that, yes, it is installed, and it's going to get the configuration, because currently there isn't any configuration whatsoever. In here, if I open Supabase, you can see that I created the config.toml in here. There we go. You can see that it's also checking for Docker. So Docker is running fine, and it's starting now the Supabase local instance. Now it's applying the migration, so the SQL that we had in here. So this is under Supabase and then migrations. It's applying this migration onto our local database. And voila, you can see that we do have in here the app, which is running on localhost 3000, the Supabase Studio, as well as the in bucket. So this is where we can see the emails for confirming, the sign up. So you can see that it's telling us to go to localhost and then port 3000. All right, so here I've got a guest browsing mode with Chrome, and look at this. This is absolutely stunning, and you can see that this actually looks so professional, and we didn't actually have to do much in terms of getting it even better. And this is something that I struggle quite a lot, to be honest, with Cursor. So here we can go to different pages. So view pricing, you can see that it works. Well, actually this is just scrolling down. We can see the features in here. You can see all the features. And then in here we have the Pro, which is lifetime access. So if I click on this, you can see that it takes us to the login. So let me just create a username. So here, let's just say Nelson, and then the email hello@amigos and then code.com, and then the password, let's just say password. All right, so I'm going to create the account. Wow. So we are actually in. So this is so beautiful. Have a look. We have waiting list in here. So this is the waiting list. We have the billing page that we can configure. I could just click on upgrade. Basically for this, we actually need to configure Stripe. So which I didn't. To be honest, this is it. And you can see how powerful Claude is compared to everything out there. So literally, if you're not using Claude, you definitely should start experimenting and use Claude to help you boost your development. And you can see that this actually looks so clean and professional, which is definitely something really difficult to get with some of the other AI models out there. Hopefully you saw the power of using Claude Code. And if you want to gain access to this exact project that I have, I'm going to leave a link in the description of this video, and also some resources on Claude and how to use it. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, and I'll see you on the next one. Assalamu alaikum.